Hi guys, so today we're checking out the Red Rock 4x4 Baja upper replacement grille with LED marker lights as well as a daytime running light, fitting all 2016 to 2018 Toyota Tacomas. So this is going to be great for the Tacoma owner who's looking for a very easy and affordable way to switch up the function and styling of the front end of their truck. Now this is going to be a full replacement grille that is going to completely switch up the styling, giving you a more sporty and a more Baja look as it says in the name. Now this is going to be made of an ABS plastic material and it's going to have a matte black finish, which I personally think gives a nice contrast to the front end. And this is going to get rid of that emblem in the middle and replace it with a more honeycomb design, which is going to just enhance that styling that much more. Now what I do really like about that is the fact that this is going to add a little bit of functionality, giving a lot more airflow to the front end in comparison to the factory one, which will add a little bit of functionality to this grille. And this is also going to come with those LED lights. Now you're going to have 3 marker lights up at the top. Those are going to add some extra styling, make you more noticeable on the road to other drivers. And then we're going to have some accent lighting over on this side. Now when they're not illuminated, they do have a smoke lens, and I think it meshes very well with the grille, considering that this is going to have more or less the same color as the grille here. Now when the daytime running lights are on, these are going to illuminate in a bright white color temperature, which is going to match with your factory daytime running lights if you have them, or they're just going to be your standard daytime running lights if you don't have daytime running lights. Now if you actuate your turn signal, either side is going to illuminate in an amber color, so it will have that switchback design as well, making this grille very functional and very stylish. Now, not to mention, again, being more noticeable on the road to other drivers is very important as far as safety, and this grille is going to definitely achieve that. Now, with all that being said, this is going to come in at roughly $200, which is incredibly affordable, in my personal opinion, for what you're getting out of this kit. Now, not only are you getting a lot of styling out of the front end of this, but you're also getting a lot of functionality, especially with these LED lights. Now, some other more expensive options on the page may be just set up a little bit differently. Some may not even include LED lights as to where this one does. Some may include lights, but they're most likely going to be for LED light bars instead of the marker lights that we have here. And then some may be constructed with a different material. So instead of the ABS plastic material that we have here, it may be a stainless steel with a powder coat on it instead of that plastic. So overall, it really kind of comes down to your personal preference in design. However, if you're looking for something affordable, functional, and very stylish for the front end of your 16 to 18 Toyota Tacoma, this is going to be it. Now, as far as install is concerned, I'm going to give this a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. This is actually really easy to install. There is a lot of lighting, but it's very minimal wiring. All of the harnesses are included, and the wiring is going to be very simple. You're going to need probably 2 hours worth of your time and some very basic hand tools. So speaking of the install, let's jump into that now. The tools that I used for my install were an impact wrench, a 10mm socket, a pair of pliers, a flathead and Phillips head screwdriver, and a trim removal tool. So the first couple of steps to taking off our grille are going to include taking the 2 clips off of either side of the grille, and there are 2 10mm bolts up at the top that we need to remove. So you will need a panel removal tool or a trim removal tool for the clips, and a 10mm socket and an impact wrench or a ratchet in order to remove those top bolts. So I'm going to start with the clips. You can also use a flathead screwdriver. Sometimes these can be a little bit difficult, so I like to use like a pry tool like this. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Then we can remove the 2 top bolts. And then all we have to do at this point is pull up on each of these arms on our grille and then give it a good pull back. So now that we have the full grille off and on the table, we do need to replace this center section with our new upper grille. What we need to do is remove the couple of screws that are holding it in and push the tabs through so we can push it out of this grille surround here. So for this, you'll need a flathead screwdriver and a Phillips head screwdriver. I'm going to start with all of the screws and then we can start to push it forward. So the screws that you need to remove are in line with these tabs here. Now there are going to be a couple of other screws. Those are going to be for the actual surround. So making sure that this is attached to this center grille here, we can start to remove it. So starting off, we're gonna take the trim piece off. There is an outer trim piece to this center grill. So this is going to be basically every other tab. So they will come out pretty easily. But if you need a little help on some of them, like this one down at the bottom, it's being a little bit difficult, we can use that flathead screwdriver and push that through. So now that that trim piece is out of the way, what we can do is focus on the center part of the grill. So again, this is just going to utilize these tabs as well. That's why I'm using this flathead. So it may be a little bit difficult to get it started. We just want to pull on the face of the grill and push these tabs in and through. So before we hop into the rest of the install, I wanted to stop down and tell you guys a little bit more about this new Baja grill, especially in comparison to our factory one, show you some of the similarities and differences between the two and why this is going to be a big upgrade. Now, as you can tell, this is going to obviously be a big upgrade considering that this is going to bring a lot more styling to the table and it's also going to bring a little bit more functionality as well. Now, our factory grill, I have the chrome one on the table. It is going to differ between the trim levels or between the models of the Tacoma, but if you are working with a chrome grill, this is going to create a more blacked out aesthetic on the front end of your truck, and it's going to clean up the look and add more of a sporty and Baja look, as it says in the name, in comparison to the chrome trim here. Now, what I also really like about this option is the fact that our factory grill has that big emblem in the middle, and this one is not. Again, it's going to really clean up the look, especially with the honeycomb design in the middle. I think, again, it's going to just add that sporty look that you may be looking for the front end of your Tacoma. Now, this is going to be made of an ABS plastic material. Our factory one is going to just be a standard plastic material, so this will actually be a little bit more durable. It is paintable if you are looking to color match it to your factory color code or paint it to any really color that you'd like. You definitely can do that, or you can leave it in this matte black finish. It is pretty sleek. I do like the fact that it kind of switches it up from the chrome and from other options on the Tacomas. Now, the big thing about this grill is the fact that it's going to come with LED lights. We're going to have 3 LED marker lights up at the top. That's going to make you more noticeable on the road to other drivers. It's also just going to add to that sporty styling to the front end. Now, the other thing about this grill is that not only are you getting the marker lights up on top, we're also getting 2 on this side. Maybe a little bit difficult to see considering that this has a smoked lens, but it meshes very well with the rest of the grill. And whenever you actuate your turn signal, these will illuminate in an amber color, which will just, again, add to the styling, add to the functionality, and it's also going to, again, make you more noticeable on the road to other drivers, which is definitely important when it comes to safety. And overall, I personally think that it adds a really nice touch of styling, especially with the fact that this is smoked out, so it is going to blend very well with the rest of the grill. So overall, this is going to be a big upgrade, and what I really like about it is the fact that it's going to come with all of the wiring harnesses included, and we're really just going to have to clip them into the correct wires on our factory wiring harnesses. So it makes it really simple to install, and you'll see that in just a second. So what do you say we get rid of our factory one and put our new grill on? So this is actually going to be really easy. All we have to do is just pop our grill into place. This is going to come with tabs on the back, just like our factory grill did, but it's not going to have the Phillips head screws that are going to secure it down. This is just going to be secured by multiple tabs, which makes it really easy. So what we need to do is take our grill, making sure that the wiring harnesses are going through the back there, and we can just line this up with the factory location where they clipped into place. So it should be pretty easy to line those up. Just want to be careful because this is all plastic. You don't want to break any tabs, but you're just going to give it a firm press and it's going to clip into place. Super easy. So after the inner grill or the upper grill is on, what we can do is just attach this just how we took it off, and then we can get into the wiring. So what we can do is just pop our grill back into place, make sure that those go around the retainers. I was just holding on to the wiring harness. We're gonna get to that in just a sec, but we're gonna take our factory hardware, which is the 2 clips over in the side and 2 10mm screws up at the top, and re-secure them. Just using that 10mm socket that we used to remove them. Then we can attach our clips over at the side. Then we can hop into the wiring. So on the grill, we're gonna have 2 wiring harnesses. One is for the marker lights up at the top. This is gonna be the red and black wiring harness, and you'll see that the harness is going to be attached to those lights behind the grill. Now we are going to attach these to our marker light over on the passenger side, and this is going to attach to the yellow wire and the white wire with a black trace on it. This is tucked way in on this side. You will be able to access it just by reaching around. However, it is very difficult to see, so I've unplugged it for you guys already. And we're gonna be using these clips in order to tie them into each other. So in order to tie these 2 together, what we're gonna do is use this clip that's provided in the kit. Now this is going to have one side that is not capped and one side that is capped. The side that does not have a cap on it is going to go around the wiring harness from the factory, and then our wire here is going to insert in the cap side, and this metal piece in the middle is going to get clamped down and tie those 2 together to make sure that there's power or ground going to both. So I'm going to start with the power, and this is just going to go onto the wire like this. It's going to hold that wire in there. Then making sure that this is routed correctly, I have it behind here. Put that into the clip there. You can take a pair of pliers, clamp that down, making sure that it's touching both of those wires that are in there. You'll kind of hear it cut through. Once that's clamped down, we can fold this clip over and that'll hold it in place. Then we can do the same thing for the negative. These may be a little bit difficult to open at first. I usually just take a flathead screwdriver and kind of pry on it a little bit, and it just helps it open and get that first wire in. So after both of those are attached, we can just go ahead and plug this in. So now what we can do is wire up the lights for our daytime running lights over on the side, as well as our turn signals. So there is going to be a small wiring diagram here. We're going to take our red and our white line, and we're going to attach it to the power wire on our marker light, just like we did over on the other side, except for this one is going to be purple. Then we can take our black line that's on the same harness, and we can attach it to the white wire with a black trace, which is going to be our negative. Now where it kind of changes a little bit, our blue line here and our yellow line are going to go into the turn signal. Our blue line is going to go over to the passenger side, and the yellow line is going to go into our orange turn signal wire over on the driver's side. Now I'll show you guys all of that in just a second, but I did want to go over the wiring diagram with you. Now this is the main control box. As you can see, there's 2 mounting points. You can mount this wherever you'd like. We're just going to make sure that everything's tied in first, and then we're going to mount it up with a couple of zip ties. So to start, I'm going to work on the white and red wire as well as the black wire. And this is going to be on the marker light. Like I said, over on this side, you can just unplug it and then you'll have full access to it. We're going to use the same clips as well. And then what we can actually do is just take both of these wires and tie them into each other. Because these are going to be attached to the same location, and we can put them in the same clip. Making sure that both wires are in the same spot. Clamp that down. And then we can clip this and plug it in. So now we can locate our turn signal. It's going to be right on the inside of our light here. It's going to be a little bit easier to access than our marker light. And we're gonna attach our yellow wire into this orange line here. We're just gonna do the same way that we did before with those clips. Right, then we can plug this back in and do the same thing over on the other side. Now this is gonna be the same except for we're running blue into blue. We can plug that back in. And then our last step is just to clean up our wiring. So what I recommend to do is grab a couple of zip ties, get these up and out of the way so that they're not visible behind the grill, and then you'll be all set to go. So that's going to wrap it up for my review and install. Make sure you like and subscribe for more videos and products just like this, and always keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.